Welcome to the Vic on the Mic podcast. I'm your host, Michael Vick, with the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. Today, we're joined by one of the most prolific and iconic coaches at the scholastic level, Coach Rush Propst. Coach, I appreciate you taking this few minutes of your time today to join the program. How are you?
No, good, Michael. It's a pleasure to join you on your show today. I've done several of these and look forward to diving right into it.
Well, hey, Coach, obviously when people mention your name, oftentimes it's within the same breath of the MTV hit show 2-A-Days that first aired back in 2005, where an estimated 46 million people tuned in weekly. How did that show come together for you?
They took the top 50 schools in the country. They whittled it down to 20 and then down to 10, down to 5. And then when they got it to 5, they actually sent pilot crews out to shoot spring practice. At the end of it, I think 30 days after spring ball, they elected us. There's things I didn't like about it, mostly in the second show. The first show was pretty good. I thought it helped our football team win a 4th straight state championship because I thought we had gone the gamut of what to talk about, the narrative. You bring up a narrative every year of what your goals are, and we'd won it, and we'd repeated, and we'd three-peated, and, the 4-peat just didn't have the pizzazz, I thought, and the oomph that it needed. Well, when this came to fruition, I thought it was the sort of the nutrition that it needed to get over the hump, so to speak, and it did. I thought we grasped with it pretty good, and the other thing that I liked about it was that we were selling it to a part of the country, or part of the TV viewership that was not normal sports junkies. If I could show you the hundreds, thousands actually, of letters, emails, 99.99% of it was all positive. And I think because of the MTV viewership, I think that was a positive for people that needed that sports hero that maybe didn't have one. And it's amazing on how many kids told me it got their football program going because they inspired to be something like that.
Coach, what is it that you love most about coaching the game of football?
Well, 2 things. I think I've been asked that a lot in my career, and the 2 things that I come up with is, one, relationship with players that I just mentioned, and those relationships last for a lifetime, and I truly mean that. I mean, I've got kids that I still, and I call them kids, and they're 55-year-old men that I coached in 1981 and 82 when I first started out, that I have today that are close friends. And then I have kids that I coached last year that I stay in close contact with, and everything in between. So that's first and foremost is a relation. The second thing, and I think comes to mind, is that helping kids. We've had 139 kids sign here in 10 years. That's roughly 14 a year at Colquitt County. I'm over 100 and something at Hoover. So, 250 total kids have signed football scholarships that have played for me. And I think that's big. I've got several playing in the NFL, got 2 playing there now. One that starts for the Kansas City Chiefs, Cameron Irvin, and one that's played for the Miami Dolphins, and Janice Pittman. But what's important to me is those kids and their scholarships and what they've done. And now that I see those kids that are doing well in life and become successful business people. So I see that, and I see that we've helped. We've given back, I guess, what was given to me when I played the game. And without my high school coaching in high school, I wouldn't be where I am today.
5 state titles, Hoover. You talk about relationships. In 2007, you obviously had to leave amidst a very public fallout there in your personal life. Take me to October 30th, 2007, and the emotions that had to be running through you when you decided to resign from Hoover as the head football coach.
I've thought about that a lot over the years, and Hoover will always have a special place in my heart. I think once you're a Buccaneer, you're always a Buck, and I think that under the circumstances, it was the right thing for me to do, is resign. I think it was affecting our football team. I would have never resigned because I'm not doing anything wrong except for the away from the school stuff. And I admit that. I know that it was wrong. And so, but inside the school, there were a lot of rumors, but nothing was true. And so I was not going anywhere and was not going to resign because I had a really good, solid contract, and I was just going to weather the storm. But when it started affecting my team in a way that I just didn't think we were playing very good, I thought it was time for me to step away.
Colquitt County came calling not too long after that, in 2008, to help resurrect their football program. What did that opportunity mean to you at the time amidst everything?
It was a second chance. The New York Times did a pretty good article on me, and I think that said a lot. And I think that it gave me a second chance to do what I really love to do, and that's coach football and help kids. And we got it turned around, and we caught fire and made a run for the state championship. Got beat in the semifinals by the state champions, and then we just got on winning roles, and started winning.
Coach, in January of 2011, you were diagnosed with throat cancer. And as you got the news, what possible thoughts and emotions could be running through your head when you hear the words stage 4?
That was a tough day. Wasn't much hope there. Memorial Day of 11 may have been the toughest day of my life, where I just didn't know if I wanted to continue on. But you just sort of like a high school football coach once told me, my high school coach, Reagan Clark, times you just got to suck it up. And I called my cousin that day, who just had the same disease I had. He's 2 years older than I am, and had had it 2 years prior to me. And he had beat it. And he told me the same thing, along with Pat Sullivan. You just got to suck it up. And I did, and fought back, and it took a while, man. That thing was a 2-year fight. But the good doctors there at UAB and all the things that went down were good, and the good Lord just had a plan for me. I mean, I really believe that. I think that He was not ready for me to step aside, and so it was tough. But as my old coach told me, tough times don't last, tough people do. And on the backside of it, it's made me a stronger person and a more faithful person to my Lord and Savior too, because I just had a lot of people to take care of and be responsible for, and so I fought it as hard as you could fight it, and we beat it.
Well, you're currently a volunteer consultant with the University of Alabama, Birmingham. You co-host a show, Tennessee Two-A-Days. Where do you see yourself next, Coach?
Coaching football. I'm on make a decision here in the next several days, and no more than 10 days. That's going to put me back on the sideline and coaching football. And I'm not ready to just be behind the mic and doing podcasts and doing interviews and writing books and out the pasture. I got a lot of good years left in me.
Well, last question for you, Coach, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've won 299 games as a head coach, national title, 7 state titles. Many people believe that you're one of the greatest high school coaches to ever walk the sidelines. When you do finally decide to hang it up, how do you hope people remember you?
There's a better person at the end than I was at the beginning. I mean, the trophies will fade and the records will fade and they'll be broken, and they were numbers. But what's not numbers is that life you helped and you turned around and you molded and you hopefully fixed. The players, to me, are the number one thing. And I mean, it'll always be that way with me, and that won't go away. I'll always and would hope people will understand that about me when I do retire 7, 8 years from now, is that, man, that guy, he helped a lot of kids. As long as they'll say that, they see anything else they want.
Well, Coach, there's no question about it that you've impacted a lot of lives. You're approaching 300 victories. Whatever it is that you do next, I personally want to wish you the best of luck. For now, this is Michael Vick with the Dan Patton School of Sportscasting. Same time, same place tomorrow. enjoy the rest of your day.